What's going on? What is going on? Are Liverpool going downhill? I feel pretty reluctant to use that word and the word Liverpool in the same sentence because this is a side who have just won the Premier League. It's a side who have won the Premier League and then strengthened with hundreds of millions of pounds. However, it is so clear as day, the signs are so apparent and telling, that this side is going downhill. And that's pretty damning. It's a pretty damning statement. However, I believe there is reason behind the statement. I believe there is a rational thought process behind the statement. And it doesn't make me any less of a fan than you, than the guy next to you, This idea that you have to back every single player to the hills and back, or then if you're not a fan. If you raise any sort of problem or issue about any sort of player, then yeah, you're cut from the fan base. You might as well be a Man United fan if people are concerned. Just because I'm calling out the problems that are going on at this side does not make me any less of a fan as yourself. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. And I think a lot of the time, people assume you have to be the coach. You have to have a bald head and be called Arne Slot to formulate any sort of strong opinion on this team, and for your opinion to be worthwhile and to be credible. Yet, I'm neither of those things. I'm sat in my room. I'm just saying what I'm seeing, but I feel like I'm correct in what I'm saying, and I'd love you to get involved in the comments. Do you disagree with what I'm saying? The fundamentals beaten. We aren't particularly playing well at the moment. This team is declining. And by the way, I'm not talking about declining like a Morecambe side. I'm talking about declining from a side who've just won the Premier League at a canter, let's be real. We took the foot off the gas for the large part of the back end of last season. For a side that have achieved that kind of feat there, to now be coasting in games, now be not winning games convincingly, if at all. It's one thing winning games in the last minute against Burnley with a penalty, but it's another thing not actually winning games. And we've just seen that in the Cup. And that's probably not the first time that's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? We saw it in the league as well with Palace. And that Palace game for me was terrible. I think that's the worst half of football we've been involved in this year. That first half, sorry. Passive. It's lacking character. And this Liverpool side, yeah, maybe if it ain't working on the pitch, maybe if the passing ain't working, or we can't get into it, the patterns of play aren't formulating, we'd always have some sort of character. There'd always be one player who go, right, I'll go and get the goal today. Whether it be Salah, we've seen it this year with Chiesa coming and getting the goal. We've got enough individual quality now to go and get goals at the end of games. There's a reason we keep doing it. It's because we've got an half-decent side. And these players are very good. We've picked up some very good players in the window. And I'd say in terms of individual brilliance, are you surprised that we're getting all these last-minute goals? I'm not. But that's not sustainable. And it's one thing doing that, but it's another thing not doing that. Because you look at that last game, you look at the Burnley game, no one there was going to pick the ball up and go and score by himself. It took a penalty to decide between a draw and a loss, or draw and a win, sorry. In the previous game against Palace, no one, and you look at Salah doing it in the past, you look at Isak doing it at Newcastle, no one even nearly was going to try and win that game for Liverpool, and even more so against Galatasaray. You got the impression against Atletico Madrid that it's like, well, it probably isn't going our way, but it's building. Something's gathering, momentum's gathering that game. Yet, we ended up winning the game because it's obvious, right? That corner was coming. Guys, I can see you in the comments. I really do appreciate you all dropping by. Rofa, mate, I hope you are well. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out there because I just think it's so obvious. Against Atletico Madrid, corner after corner after corner. Towards the end of the game, you knew something was going to happen in that game. You almost knew we were going to score. And you get that impression. You watch the Fergie sides over the years. You watch these Pep sides, like, even when they're not playing very well, they score goals to win games. They grind out wins. And we've done that this season. But in the Galatasaray game away, it didn't even seem like we were going to score. Against Palace, it didn't even seem like we were going to score. It's a big issue when you can't work out where your next goal's coming from, as one of the best sides in the world. I don't think that's very good. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. Wirtz is so bad. I've just had a comment there. I disagree entirely, and this is where the fan base starts to turn for no reason. Wirtz is fundamentally not a bad footballer. He's not started very well, which doesn't help. But no one has particularly. I think Ekatike has been fantastic. And when you talk about two players coming into a side from the same league, by the way, one impressing straight away, hitting the ground running, and one not, Ekatike and then Wirtz, it does reflect worse. Wirtz on Wirtz. Worse. I was trying to make a bit of wordplay between the word Wirtz and worse. It does reflect worse on Wirtz because it's almost like, well, Ekatike's at the ground running. Ekatike started well as an attacking player, as a young player, coming from the same league. Why can Wirtz not do it? If Ekatike's done so well, and why? And I get your point. but it will come good with Wirtz. You only watch him, and you watch his little touches. You watch him take on players. You watch him create chances. I believe he's in the top 10 in the Premier League for most chances created. Am I back? Has that worked? My laptop just died. Can you hear me? And then I've just plugged it in and it seems to be fine. I'm still here. What? I'm still live. Guys? Can anyone hear me? Yes, in fact, people can hear me. How weird, how bizarre is that? Genuinely, it just went bloop, gone. Brilliant. No, I'm here. Yes, what was I ranting about then before that died? Sorry about that. That's never happened before. What was I ranting about there? Probably Wirtz, guys. If you're not already, do leave a like on the stream. It really does help. It really goes far. If we can get all 28 of you watching this to like the stream, then we're 28 up. You know what I mean? I would absolutely love nothing more than to not talk about Wirtz for much longer. I'm a bit bored of it, to be honest. You can clearly tell he's a good footballer. I think this light's a bit bright today, isn't it? It looks a bit bright to me. Yeah, you can clearly tell he's a good player. It's like, well, hold on. He's creating chances. He's clearly showing for the ball. He's doing most things right off the ball. But because he's not scoring, it makes it all null and void, apparently. I think that's nonsense. He's doing everything right, in my opinion, but scoring and getting on the score sheet. And apparently that's the be all and end all because he didn't score against Palace, he didn't score against Scotland. And I do agree. You have to start scoring. Like there's no. This is not an excuse, a free pass for the season to never score a goal in your life again. However, I believe right now it's worth the excuse, and the excuse is reasonable and rational. If we're in game week 24 and he's doing the same thing, not scored yet, 0024, I'd be like, are you serious? However, now, given the benefit of the doubt, it's a new team. It's a new team. It's also a new country for him. It's a new league. And I fully understand if it were Gyökeres not hitting the ground running and not firing, like he's scoring goals. If it was him, and it was him at one point, people will bash him because he's an Arsenal player. But I think Wirtz might get a more of a free pass because he's a Liverpool player. Still. Yeah. Let's move that. Still, this player is fantastic and it will come good. Be fine long term. I agree entirely. Excuse me. I think people need to also chill out with a lot of talk on the strikers who will start. Isak or Ekatike. It's like one of them will start. They're both good footballers. Leave it alone. People are getting concerned. Obviously, it's not good that Alisson's out for a significant period of time. Is it 5 to 8 weeks? But it's like, well, okay, we've got one of the best young backup goalkeepers in the world. One of the best goalkeepers in the league is our backup. Talk about something else. Go outside. Like, seriously, waste your time talking about anything else other than that. Stop talking about who's going to play Isak or Ekatike. One of them will play and do well. On the weekend, Isak will play. And it's like, well, great, he'll do well. I'm sure Ekatike will do well off the bench if he's fit. And you've got to get used to it because what's the point wasting your breath? In your life for so long. They will rotate this season. They will take their load each. As is the case for me. What's a good? Frimpong Bradley. They will take their load this season. What's the point in saying he should start? He will be the starter every week. If Frimpong has an amazing 5 games, he's probably not even locked into the 6th game because of the way this team works and because of the way the rotation has to work this year. Even Szoboszlai could play as a right back. And that's a good thing, I think. I look at a lot of teams, and I think Arsenal were definitely culprits of this maybe 3-4 years ago. They had an 11, they had like a 9 out of 11. They never had a 12, 13, or 14 squad. Now they have one of the best squads in the world. So they've given them credit where it's due, and they've spent a lot of money to do so. However, they've formulated a squad there, as I believe we do. I don't know if our squad's better than Arsenal's. I do think our first 11's better than Arsenal. I said that on paper. I do think that. We literally beat them, right? However, in terms of the squad, I believe we're lacking in, and listen, Leone's got injured now, so it's very easy to say we're lacking in a centre-back. But I did say at the start of the season, that Gahey one could be the jigsaw piece missing from the puzzle. We could not have foreseen the Leone injury. However, such a young player as well, it's like if anyone's... Sorry, I've got an eyelash. If anyone's going to get injured, it's probably not him. Like, young player, but playing at centre-back as well, like, you'd expect a midfield player, you know what I mean? But that's the way it is. It's not helped by the Gahey pulling out of this signing, or being told he can't go. And I've got a very bad feeling that could come back to bite us in the arse, come back at the end of the season. I mean, if Leone was fine, then Gahey wouldn't have really been an issue. But now you look at that depth, and you look at Kwanzaa going, you look at Joe Gomez playing, like, how many games before he gets injured? How many games before Konate gets injured? Konate's not playing very well as it is now. So I believe our centre-back depth is so poor. So poor. It's not even just like a bit poor. It's pretty awful, our depth. Not in terms of the starters. Van Dijk's the best in the world. Konate, for me, is a good centre-back, and a couple of games ain't changing my mind on that. I know how good he is. We've won the league with him there. He's a good centre-back. He's having a bad spell at this point. As in McAllister, he's having a bad spell in midfield. He's a good midfield player. But the depth outside of that, you've got a player who's out for a season, who again we couldn't have foreseen. You've got a player who misses half the season, like every season, like it's a formality. You might as well turn up for half. Gomez might as well say, these are my days, take my days. The rest of them I've probably got an injury. And touch wood, he don't have an injury this year, but it's like you almost expect it. I mean, he literally had an injury in the pre-season. He's the only player to miss pre-season or to go home because of an injury. It speaks volumes, yet we didn't address it. And I believe, yeah, granted, a lot of the talk on Gahey was down to the Palace side, right? Palace stopped him from going. But I do think Liverpool, we were criticising them for being so eggs in one basket from Igor, was it Igor something? Sent off from Brighton, and that fell through, therefore the Gahey deal fell through. I think we were very eggs in one basket with Gahey. Why couldn't we go in for Nkapie, who went to Arsenal, who we were linked to for about 2 seasons before he went to Arsenal, by the way? It all went quiet. And now Arsenal pick him up after no transfer saga, nothing. They go, right, Nkapie's there, we're going to sign him. Where were we in that deal? All of our eggs were in one basket in Gahey, and when it fell through, on deadline day, by the way, a deal that could have been done 2 weeks prior, it fell through. I believe Liverpool needs to take some of that blame for being too focused on one player, in my opinion. And listen, again, Palace pulled the plug. It went wrong on their end, and I thought actually the way they dealt with it was not great from the player side and the club side. And then you look at Glasner now, opportunities to go to Man United, to walk after doing, not to walk, to leave the club after threatening to walk if Gahey was sold. Unless I misread that, that's what he said. Interesting, isn't it? But hopefully you get my thoughts, and hopefully I'm coming from a place of sense. And if you agree with that, please do leave a like on the video. There's a lot more talking points. I mean, the big talking point is Salah. People saying, well, Salah's done. He's done now. There we go. 4 games. He's been crap this year, so he's done. Salah's done this before. Salah has some bad spells at times. He always scores goals. The Everton game this year, it was really poor. He probably should have come off that game, but he scored the final goal. That is Salah. That game was a excellent case study for this player. And for me, that's not a player I can let up, and that's not a player I can drop at any point. I actually disagreed with dropping him in the cup game against Galatasaray. Look at the one game, well, 2 now because of Palace. One of the games we lost this year. In fact, here's another great example. What was Salah's best performance this year? Think of it in your head. This year, Salah's best performance this season, bang, it's so obvious. It's Atletico Madrid at home in the Champions League. It's so obvious. A competition he has history with, he always plays well in. He loves playing in. Yet he gets dropped for the weeks after fixture against Galatasaray. The 1 week we lose and have like 2 shots on target. It's his competition and he's been dropped. All the people saying drop Salah. Drop Salah, you don't deserve it. We lose that game. Great. And ultimately, was dropping Salah the reason we lost that game? Probably not. You can't put it down to one player. We were all crap. Defensively, in midfield and forward. But I'd like to think Salah maybe would have done a Salah thing and had a bad game and scored a goal. Or even better, a Champions League version of Salah had a good game and scored a goal. Do you get my point there? So I think People saying Salah has to come out of the team and has to. It's like, no, just shut up. Please shut up. I don't know, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. It's quite a chilled out stream, this. There's just a lot to go through. And a lot of frustration building around this team. But because I'm saying it, I'm not a fan. Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Canate's mind is in Madrid. Oh, I think it's further than that, mate. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Lately, I've been feeling like a prime Jonathan Morley. I don't know. Why has Canate not been up to the mark? To be honest, mate, I don't think it's anything to do with external factors. I don't know. I think players just go through spells. And I think in football, it's you get the cannon effect, the knock-on effect of one game leads to one bad game leads to another bad game leads to another. Do you get my point? And I don't think he's helped by the right back not being unbelievable in like any games this season. That's a better lighting, isn't it? That's less harsh, I would say. What's something you're not happy with? Or you're happy with? Christ. In goal, we've been good, I think, on the whole. Mamardashvili's come in and done a great job. And obviously Alisson's fantastic, and that Palace game was amazing. I think Ekatike has been fantastic. He's been our best signing. Chiesa has been good. Excuse me. The reason, by the way, I've not been live is because of this cold. I literally can't sustain a 40-minute spell of talking. So hopefully it'll come back. I've not disappeared from the lives. I appreciate the members and that are in the chat, and like I've not seen the members in ages, but I think I've had this COVID variant, so the lives will be coming back. I'll be easing into it. I'll be going from maybe a 20-minute live to a 30, 40, etc. If Chiesa is fit, do you start him over Gakpo, or do you see him as an impact sub? I think that's a tough one. I think he starts off the right as opposed to the left. I don't see Gakpo as a natural replacement for him, or him for the, you know what I mean. I see Ekatike starting off the left as a more viable option. I see Ngamoa playing as a more viable option than Chiesa. I've not been too impressed by him in the left zones. He's not really started off the left, has he? But more centrally, off the right, certainly. I've actually liked him centrally, behind the striker, and I think that's a position he don't often get spoken about in. I think he was fantastic. His link-up against Southampton with Isak was just great. Obviously got 2 assists that day as well. I would start Chiesa, if he's going to play, through the middle, centrally. And I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. In fact, leave some comments down below right now. Let's talk about Chiesa. Where would you start the guy? Give me a position right now. Attacking midfield, off the left, off the right, up front. If you had to put him in somewhere, where would you put him in? I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'll read out all your comments. Scape's not match fit. I'll tell you now, I've not been recently, and it's an issue, but hopefully we should be back soon. I hope you've been enjoying the videos, by the way, guys. The response was great on one of them, so I really appreciate it. Left wing. Okay, wow. Maybe there's an option then for Chiesa playing left wing. Maybe a video could be, could Chiesa play left wing? I mean, that's the obvious title, right? Maybe we could construct some sort of video there. That's interesting. I've not actually thought of that, to be honest with you. If you were Slot, how would you fix this team? I'd play a 4-3-3, I'd go back to basics, I'd play the team that worked previously, a title-winning midfield 3, I'd play fullbacks where the fullback should be playing, where Kirkers should be playing, not as a left-sided back 3 centre-back. He should be a left wing-back. I'd play Salah close to goal, I'd play Wirtz off the left. I just think these are simple fixes that obviously can't be that simple and good because he ain't done them, right? And he knows more than me. What do I know? Chiesa off the left, Wirtz in the middle, Hugo dropping to support. I can see that, yeah. But then, like, you got to get Salah and Isak in there, so like, where'd you put him in? Do you know what I mean? Left wing, probably just to get this guy in the squad. Yeah, get him in at goalkeeper, yeah. Probably a lot of everyone, in fact, saying left wing to play Chiesa. That's interesting. That's made me want to do a video on that. Chiesa as left winger, could that be the option? Probably left wing, but still Wirtz, Rio and Gakpo are all ahead of him. I agree with that. In Slot's pecking order. Well, they are, but I still agree with that. Because they are left-sided players, do you know what I mean? I think Arsenal's a great example. Is Madueke a better player than Martinelli? Yeah, but he's not a better left winger, in my opinion. It's a bad example. It's a good example for me. You've got to play players in the right positions, or at least near to. Are you with me there? or at least near to their right positions. Szoboszlai needs to play right back, even though he isn't the right back. He plays way better there than as an 8. Oh, I disagree. 8, 10 or 6. I disagree with this, I've got to say. For me, Szoboszlai was fantastic against Arsenal and Newcastle playing right back. He also played right back in another game, he wasn't amazing. He was very good, but it's like, does that warrant you playing there again? Or is it just a case of he happened to be very good in that game? Because I think it's partly the latter. I don't think he should play right back. Maybe again's maybe a bit far, but certainly not as often as people are suggesting. We've got 2 right backs there. Ultimately, if you've got two right backs, are you going to rotate 50-50? I think that seems to be the general consensus about game time, the share of games between Frimpong and Bradley, 50-50, let's say, or 60-40, worst case, right? You have to play them in that ratio, or then one of them becomes unhappy, one of them becomes not match fit. That's a solid. If it becomes 70-30, fine, but 70-30 was fair when it was Trent Bradley, a young Bradley. Trent was obviously a better player. He was the first team right back. That makes a lot of sense. But now we've got Bradley and Frimpong, who for me aren't too far apart. Therefore, you can't 70-30, 80-20 split that. You have to go 60-40, 50-50. Or then again, one player becomes unhappy, one player, God forbid, moves away or becomes unfit. If you throw Szoboszlai into there as a right back option, people saying he should feature as a right back, you are then making that split 30-30-40. We could have fun with this. 35-35-25. You know what I'm trying to say? Is that no? That's wrong. 35-35-30. I should say there. Do you get my point there? It's unnecessary. We've got 2 right backs, 2 left backs. We should have 4 centre backs. That's how a squad is built. I get Szoboszlai can play as a right back. He can fill in there. Worst case, but it ain't worst case. Maybe if Salah's going to AFCON, Chiesa may be injured. Frimpong plays right wing. Szoboszlai plays right back, or Bradley plays. That's when you maybe talk about Szoboszlai filling in there. Or unless you're playing in Newcastle or in individual specific games, you need Szoboszlai's assets at right back. You play him there. But I wouldn't be looking to play him there many times, if at all, this season again, in my opinion, because of the great options you've got in there. It's like at left back, we've got 2 players there. I'm not saying, play Jones left back, because, why not? No, don't mix it up. Play players in their positions, my God. AJ24, optimistic about tomorrow's game. I am. I think Chelsea are really overrated. I think they're really overrated. They're back too. Look at this. I went on Flash Score today, I was looking at their predicted team. Their back four's horrendous. Maybe not horrendous, but the centre-backs are terrible. Badiashile, I think Badiashile is one of the weakest centre-backs in the Big Six. I know he's not a starting player, but even you can chuck him back up there. I think he's so poor. He made an error against us, didn't he? Him and Disasi, remember him? And then I've got Achapong, who everyone's saying... I saw some Chelsea fans saying he was weak the other day, and he only played 11 minutes. But was that the Brighton game? Maybe he was weak. One of the games he wasn't very good anyway. So you're coming up against a 19-year-old centre-back who don't play, and a 24-year-old centre-back who's been injured for ages, and for me he's also inconsistent. I'm very confident about the Chelsea game. Yeah, the rest of the team is pretty good. No Palmer, obviously. I think it says on here Buonanotte is going to play. I don't care. Guys, I really do appreciate you all dropping by. I've been very ill, hence why there's been no live streams. This will be a shorter one because I'm trying to get back to... I literally can't speak for half an hour about having to blow my nose, so I apologise. It's one of them things. It will get better. Back to the basics. You say Salah, McAllister, Kanate have been nowhere near within... Yes, I agree with that. Slot hasn't mixed things up like people suggest. Yes, I agree. I entirely agree, mate. Owen, if we signed a centre-back in January, who would you want to sign beside Gahey, Murillo? He's good, but I don't think he'll leave in January. I don't know. Obviously they're a bigger team, and Forest look down. Talking about Liverpool being downhill, Forest do look downhill right now. He'd be a good option, yeah. I don't know if he suits the way we play, though, I've got to say. I think he's a bit aggressive for what we need right now. I think one of the reasons Salah's becoming worse is the Trent and him relationship that's gone. I think that's a fair point. I think because it ended so sour with Trent, people were like, oh, see you later. Glad to see the back of him. However, they don't when you take away the side of it of a Scouser leaving his boyhood team, and I get it, get why you hate him, but you can't deny the skill set that is now missing from this team. There is now a void in this team which won't be replaced. It hasn't been replaced. Not in terms of character. I believe Frimpong's the character to come and replace Trent. Not in terms of the position. I think Frimpong's the position to come and replace Trent. But in terms of the attributes and the skill set Trent had, passing the ball, that quarterback role, literally could create a chance out of nothing on his own. Frimpong, as good as he is, and as much of an impact he has in it, and as much as he likes to impact the game high up the pitch, and that's not his style. He wants to run at players. He wants to use his pace. He wants to be direct and take players on and overlap. Trent was very happy sitting back and underlapping towards the end of his Liverpool tenure. Obviously, yeah, he started as like this young overlapping fullback who put loads of crosses in, but towards the end, you were hanging back, being a bit more kind of reserved and a bit more kind of judgmental with his passes and really weighed it up before he took it. I think that was one of the main things, actually, that Arne Slot did when he came to Liverpool. Like, one of the first things, stopped Trent from playing that Hollywood pass, and he spoke about it quite a lot. And it was very noticeable. That pass across, it was like, I'd rather play 2 passes and maybe get there, but a bit longer, than 1 pass and maybe not get there, but do it quick. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So yes, Frimpong can't replace Trent. I actually agree with that. I do agree with that. Not that I don't think Frimpong can have the impact Trent can or did, because I do think Frimpong can do that. I think he's a very special right wing back. But in terms of that void that Trent's left, them specific assets, we have not replaced. You wonder why Szoboszlai went to right back, because he's one of our only players, along with, I would say, Van Dijk, I would say Gravenberch, but we don't really see it enough. He can do it, that can switch the ball 50, 60 yards on his own, a diagonal pass to Gakpo, to Salah. Often it's Van Dijk it comes through, but against Newcastle, against Arsenal, it was a fantastic ball against Arsenal to Wirtz, and he touched it down from Szoboszlai. There's a reason Szoboszlai's playing right back. Yeah, his defensive awareness, yeah, his physicality, his ability to get around the pitch, his leadership, his discipline. But people often use them phrases and them words to describe him, and it takes away from how good of a footballer he actually is, playing this game football, because he's an excellent passer of the ball. Not many can clip a ball like he can. And in terms of that void being missed, from Trent, that asset, them assets, he's the nearest replacement we've got right now, like for like. As good as Bradley is, I think Bradley modelled a lot of his game off Trent because he was his understudy for years, well, a couple of years. But they're not the same player. Nowhere near. Bradley can't pass a ball like Trent can, unfortunately. Bradley's a faster player. Bradley's probably more dynamic. Bradley's probably more versatile as a right back, but he can't pass a ball like him. That's a big issue. And someone raised that point before. When, maybe Salah's not feeling or not having the impact he usually has because Trent isn't behind him. I hear that thought to an extent, but I think actually it's more of an effect on the team with Trent. I think there's a reason we're seeing the left winger not score as many goals, because he's gone, playing them long diags, like no one's getting on the end of them, right? I think Isak would have been fantastic. I mean, Owen's left a comment here about Isak. I mean, he'd have been fantastic with Trent behind him, wouldn't he? Or in the same team as him. Frimpong is a wing-back. I don't know what you saw in him. Xabi was using him as a winger. Well, I suppose he wasn't a winger. In that Leverkusen side, it was a wing-back who just happened to be quite far forward. His heat map, his touch map was really in the final third. But he was still a wing-back. He still did defensive work. His numbers were better than Trent's last year. But people say because he plays further forward, he can't defend. The best one about Frimpong is that he's fast, therefore he can't defend because he must be using his pace to get him out of trouble. I mean, that's just unbelievable, isn't it? What the hell's that all about? So yeah, I think he's been great. Maybe not, no, I think he will be great. I don't think he has been great yet. I think he's been okay. I think his best game was probably Atletico Madrid for me. I thought defensively was good. Mo misses the link-up play with Trent. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Look at all the crap on my bed. I'm moving house. Look, you see the box? Yeah, I'm moving house soon, so there's a lot going on, mate. A lot going on. The idea with these streams is, though, that I do go live at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'm trying to do a video every day as well, so this is the place to be. As unenthused as I am right now with this illness, I promise to do subscribe and do get involved and do check out my recent video. I'm gonna leave the stream there. We've just passed half an hour. I said I'd do 20 minutes. We're half an hour in. I've really enjoyed the stream. A lot of maybe frustrations actually in this stream as opposed to others. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be diving into the comment section straight after the vid, as usual, getting back to all of you. Get involved in the community. Leave me your thoughts down below. If there's a chat that I haven't read or missed, because to be fair, I've been quite off the cuff today, leave it in the comment section of this video, which will be posted straight away, and I'll get back to you. And let's have a discussion, guys. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like. It really goes far in helping. And subscribe. You know, if you subscribe, you don't miss a video. I really look forward to seeing you again. Nice one. See you later on, guys. Have a good one. Bye.